Wildcat fans, welcome to Purple Rain Sports, rulers of the airway. We are the one and only podcast featuring Wildcat Sports. I am your host, La Voz de los Gatos, BDE 76. Joining me as always, our producer / co-host, Mr. Albert Sosa. Wildcat Insiders, Mr. Sam Castro, Mr. Alan Sanchez, and taking us back to the old school. Y'all know his name, y'all know his number 51, Brian Pettis. Last but not least, providing technical support, Double J.
Season 4, Episode 6, Purple Rain Sports, coming to you live from 5D Steakhouse. In this episode, we will be talking about last week's game between your Carrizo Springs Fighting Wildcats and the visiting team, Pleasanton Eagles.
Yes, sir.
Well,
What do you want to say about it?
Are we going to do like our mama's rule where if we can't say nothing nice, we can't say
hey,
nothing wrong?
did y'all read my tweet? If y'all noticed, if y'all read my tweet, I didn't say anything all weekend.
They silenced you. It's like they silenced you. What happened?
I'll tell you one thing, though.
I was regulated.
One thing, though, the concession stand on the visitor side, that was smoking. I mean, there was a guy there, the band dad. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, I am a band dad, and I did work the visitor side. As a matter of fact, you know what happened?
Hey, you were late.
I was. You know what happened? Poteet was there scouting the game, and some of their coaches actually asked me if I could work their concession stand in a couple of weeks.
Who doesn't want a hero working
I was like,
for them?
no. I was like, you see this?
Now we found out what Alan is good for.
Wildcat
Working the concession
Nation.
stand.
I told him, Wildcat Nation, sir, I cannot work. I'm not an Aggie. I hate
years
the
at
Aggies.
His many years at McDonald's have worked out.
I did
All
work
right.
at McDonald's. I
You
did
did
work.
it.
How did you know?
That is enough about the
Big Macs
concession
for me.
stand.
Okay. Alan, you had your,
you had your
hero
moment.
moment.
Your bandad moment.
So now your bandad moment's gone.
So let's get into the Pleasanton game. So it's pretty obvious it wasn't a good showing by the Wildcats.
Not what we wanted.
We
You
thought
know,
who
they were
they
obviously
were who we thought they were.
Sam.
I feel that the mood is changing
And this time I was looking at it.
to a negative, and I'm liking it.
Well, sometimes you just have to be a little bit brutally honest with what's going on. Whenever there's a change, and, we don't want to point fingers. We try to be as positive as we can, but whenever there's a change at the helm, you hope that there's a change with the results. And it just seems like, typical, you keep hearing typical Wildcat football, and it's a tough thing to hear whenever you've been like in Ernest's case, in my case, we've been doing this for years with our boys being out there on the field. And whenever there is a change, you want it to be a positive change, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way. And it's really, really tough, man. It's really tough to watch, and don't want to say anything bad about the boys. And the boys are exempt. They're the ones out there on the field. They're the ones taking the beating. That score hurts them more than it hurts anybody else.
They're being told what to do. In other words, they're being told
the
what
boys
to
are
do.
doing
They're
the work.
being coached.
I will never take anything away from any of the boys, but sometimes some things need to be done different. If I were to pick one thing that could have been done different this Friday night, I would not have let the pulse of the offense get beat up the way he did. That young kid, number 22, took a beating out there. He never quit. He never stopped. But every single play, every single Wildcat play, every run came to him. And that is a tough thing to do whenever you're down by 40 points and then you got a team that is just a lot of speed, a lot of toughness. And that, for me, Josh Carizales, he just showed that he's a man amongst boys. But he should not have had to do what he did. He should not have had it. In my opinion, somebody else could have taken a little bit of that work. And I think it's just a coaching error.
Well, I don't mean to cut you off, and you're on a roll. And I totally see where you're coming from, because if that was my child, because I've been there where my kid's on the field, and when they're taking punishment. But this was an extraordinary case. Let's just say that there was 50 plays, at least 40 went to this guy.
Yeah.
So, like, the game's out of reach already. And we talked about it numerous times where there's nothing you can do in a game to salvage it. So what should you do? My take is, hold on, before I continue, maybe that's why I'm behind the microphone here on a podcast and at the press box, because maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, and if I did, maybe I'd be on the field. So with that being said, if it was me, let's just say if it was
your opinion,
in my opinion, and I have my star athlete that I know that's going to help me in district, there is no way, if the game is out of reach, that kid is going to be on the field. Because if he goes down with an injury, now what? We've already gone, let's just say he was a third string quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Because the starter went down the first week.
Then the backup
Second
went down.
week, the backup went down.
We went down
and now
Friday.
he's the third. Okay? So now what are you going to do? I know that there's a slogan that
Thank you,
says,
ma'am.
so what, now what, or what? So what would we have done?
Well, we would have been in a pickle like we are right now.
The thing is that you don't do that. It's like taking one of your best guys and feeding them to the wolves. This ain't 300. You know what I mean? This ain't the Spartans. This kid worked his butt off, but he did not have to be put in that position to where there was a chance of him getting hurt. Not only maybe ending his possibility of finishing out the season, the district season, but that is the pulse of your offense. That young man, we're already down the starting quarterback. The second string quarterback took a pretty tough hit, and then your third string, you're running in from a wildcat, and you're basically feeding him to the wolves. So, in my opinion, if I were to choose a donkey of the day, I would have to pick the coaching staff. The coaching staff should not have had that young man taking all those hits. Yeah, he could have been quarterback. He could have been handing off to a fullback or to a tailback. He obviously couldn't throw the ball. He completed one pass, but it was interception. But, anyway, it should not have happened, in my opinion. And whether I'm behind a microphone, whether I'm wearing a stethoscope, or whatever I'm doing, at least I know enough to not get you don't want to get your kids beat up. You don't want that, man.
Now,
you don't want
Well,
it.
here's where you got to work on your JV. You got to find a depth chart for your quarterback on the situation that we had right there. Right now, this week you should practice a quarterback. Give him the reps that he needs. I mean, it's going to be a crash course because we don't know. We don't know the situation of Mark, if he's going to come back yet. And I guess Austin for sure. If that was a concussion, which more likely it was, 2-week protocol. So you got nobody. You got to step up a JV or a freshman or another sophomore. You got to step him up.
Well, in defense of the JV, most of the time the JV consists of a lot of sophomores and some juniors, but most of the sophomores are on the varsity. That's how much talent the sophomore class has. So that's going to be a tough thing. It's going to be very tough for the Wildcats to pull from the JV and bring them up to the ranks on the varsity level.
Now,
Sorry, I got distracted.
see, my thoughts on that is, what if he wanted to be out there? What if Josh wants to be out there, get some stats, help his team out?
That's fine,
That's
but
something that you have to consider.
Understand what you're trying to say as far as maybe Josh wanted to be out there, but at the same time, that young man is going to do whatever he's asked to do. That's just the way it is.
Well, I'm not one to repeat things, but I had heard that was done to prove a point. That maybe it was said throughout town, and Carrizo is Carrizo. And any small town that talks about football, that's what's going on right now, especially high school football. High school football during football season that's it. That's like everybody's world. So maybe the talk was he wasn't been given the ball enough. Well, you know what? At some point, you got to come in as a coach. If your boxer's in there getting knocked out, what do?
You throw a towel?
You throw in the towel. So you can't throw in the towel in a football game, but you can put somebody else in there. So you would want to put somebody else in there that's going to be able to learn from those mistakes, right? What is the kid going to learn when he's getting bashed every down?
every play.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you said that your donkey of the game was the coaching staff. I'm going to go off on another level because I don't want to talk too much more about this because I don't know if I took my blood pressure pill. But with that being said, I would say my donkey of the game would have to be, and I'm not singling anybody out, it would just be a section in general. Was a new thing that the Wildcats high school or something like that kicked off was a student section. Well, we're up there playing music, and we're trying to get the crowd involved. And normally the student section, if you've ever gone to a college game, a student section's live,
It's
man.
the
They're
loudest.
like
It's the
crazy.
loudest section.
It's there to help the home team when the visitors on offense, but nothing was being done. They were looking at the press box like, what do we do? And I'm like, well, move.
Yeah. I read a comment on Facebook that they should put it next to the band because the band is pretty lively.
Well, that's questionable.
That should get them going.
That's questionable.
They sound pretty lively. I don't know.
It's
when
questionable
I've been there.
on the band.
All right, so
That's all I'm gonna say.
I've said my donkey of the game.
Well, you got that section. I got the other
Did
section.
you say the band?
Yeah. Hey, liven up. They got to liven up. I mean, they liven up with the music you play. But
Wow.
Ernest has played in the era where it was nonstop. My wife.
Yo,
played in that
there's
era,
going to
it
be
was nonstop.
a donkey here tonight because this man's nose he's flaring. You're calling out the
It's
band.
gotta
This
be-
guy's flaring.
We went from fight on Carrizo High to.
Hey, if we're picking on sections, I think the reserve sections, those are like the most boring people in the world, man. The reserve section, those people, they really kind of suck out there. They just stand there.
You can't say
They
that.
want their champagne and they want
You've
caviar
already
and shit.
said your donkey of the game.
You're
you
done.
can't
Oh, my bad.
So you gotta
I'll leave them alone.
I'm just saying we should play more. The way it works, the way it used to work in the winning years, when the opponent was on offense, the band would play its loudest music during that time. When Carrizo had the ball, tone it down. But then again, Ernest, it was a fight song consistently in our era.
I'm not gonna single out anybody on the field. Like we said before, we have a young team, we have injuries, so I'm not even gonna go there. I think donkey of the day for me is me. I missed the game. I was working, so.
That's called work, man. That's called responsibility. That's not your fault.
That's called
That's making money
stepping
right
aside.
there, baby.
That's
Yeah.
called dodging a bullet right there.
Dodging him.
Yeah, you weren't there with us.
I was working. Alan?
Donkey, let's see. I don't think I have a donkey. Let's see. Band for me, I like the band. I'm a band dad, and I think the band does a hell of a job. I know they don't play as much as some people want them to, but for the band, the band is still the band, and they're doing what they're supposed to.
Look,
so I know
there's some people.
You're done.
There's
You're
some
done.
people.
You're done.
There's some people in
You're
the
done.
audience that were in the band, and they even on the sidelines they were playing when Ernest's team was scoring
Well,
touchdowns.
this is a new time
Exactly,
and age and
but that's
everything.
why-
So
Yeah.
just like you're talking about
That's
the
what I'm
football
saying.
team and everything, the band
The-
also.
when the
for
alumni
me,
comes down, the older
band
people,
is
they get
doing,
into it.
The band is doing a good job, and I'll mention the band later on because they got some competitions this week as well. So the band is good. Who was the other? The student section. Yeah, they got up whenever they played the. Well, not as
No,
much.
not
as
even.
Oh, they didn't
Not
get
even.
up.
Not even.
Was that bad?
They
Sosa
did.
wasn't
That
there,
bad.
so yeah, he is a donkey. So, but yeah, for me, I think
you did the. I mean,
Yeah,
the
that's
music,
you
the
know,
music was good.
We're
Johnny
gonna
did
go
a
with-
good job with the music.
We're going to go real quick to our first commercial break, but before we go, we'd like to thank our sponsors, 5D Steakhouse, for hosting us for our 6th episode of Season 4. Also, one of our platinum sponsors here with us tonight, Mr. Rick De La Fuente and Smoking D's Competition Barbecue.
go.
Don't forget to head on down to the
He's got whiskey.
Industrial Park this weekend. They will be taking part of the cook-off. And I heard that they're going to be making a lot of tasty food and handing out a lot of samples, so make your way on down there. One of our other sponsors is the Javelin, who supports the You Pick 'em Challenge, puts it in week in and week out. Money Graphics.
Money Graphics
Yes,
Design.
we got to give a shout out to Mr. Matthew Signs from Money Graphics for hooking us up. Matthew takes a lot of orders, T-shirts, cups, whatever you need. He'll hook it up. So shout out to Mr. Matthew Signs with Money Graphics.
Don't forget one of our other platinum sponsors, Mr. Raul Diaz, and the Middle Rio Grande Development Council 911 department. They really came through. Rollo, thank you for all of your support. Guys, as you can see, and as if you're listening, it's a good segment. It's going to be a great episode.
He was wiry.
It's a wiry episode.
Wiry.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Purple Rain Sports, Season 4, Episode 6, coming to you live from 5D Steakhouse. In this segment, we will be discussing who we think is our MVP of the game. Hero, let's go. Start it off.
Josh Carizales. You know, third string quarterback. I went to the bleachers second half because I don't know if you guys know this. I was at the concession stand the first half.
We'll give you the orange safety vest.
But you know what? The second half, when I saw Josh and I asked what happened to Austin, and they said it was, a concussion protocol, and Josh was in there, and that kid just ran his heart out. So for me, Josh will be, for me, because I say that a lot, Josh Carizales is my MVP of the game.
All right, and I'm gonna go. Being we're from the trenches and the linemen, I'm gonna give the linemen an MVP for
Which lineman?
Offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman.
Being that it didn't go the way we wanted it, we couldn't catch up, but they still showed a lot of heart and desire to not give up. They were down, but they did not give up the whole game. They had to block, no matter what the score was. They knew what the outcome was going to be, but they continued to play hard. All 4 downs, man. So I'm going to give it to the offensive line.
Sam, Soft Hands Castro.
Well, Josh Carizales for me is a given, but I'm going to go a different route. There was a young man, number 8, out there, Mr. Kyle Briseño, that was given a really, really, really tough job to do. And that young man, being probably the smallest kid on the team, and he's also a sophomore, he didn't back down. He did the best that he could to cover that receiver. I don't know. He was like one of the top receivers in the area.
6'5".
Yeah,
Dalton
something like
Hobbs.
that. Yeah,
Dalton Hobbs.
He was like, had him beat by like 3 feet in height, But I think Kyle didn't back down. And for me, if I were to choose, Kyle Briseño would have been one of the MVPs out there because he just did whatever he could, and he never quit, and he worked hard.
Stats. Who do you got?
Well, I was listening to on Facebook Live for the game and stuff. I got to go with whoever was playing the music for the stadium.
Whoa.
That guy,
wow.
I heard him, the music. I heard he played Journey. He threw in some Iron Man. That guy, he knows the pulse of the people. So he knows what to play and when to play it and how to get the people up. So my MVP is going to be that guy. I don't know who the guy is.
You know who
We won't
my
give no
MVP
names.
is? I want to.
If y'all know who that is, let me know. And
I want to
that's the
pick a
man
co-MVP.
Are you talking about this last game or the game before that?
This game, the Pleasanton game.
You know
That
what?
was me. That was me. Soft hands, baby.
Oh no!
Man, that was
The
soft
guy,
hands,
you know what?
say.
The guy who told
Oh,
everybody to
does
turn on
that.
their phone lights. That is my co-MVP.
Oh, who's that?
Somebody, I don't know. He was on the microphone the whole night.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm going to give mine. Hey, can I give myself? I would like to, but I'm not going to.
Even the Pleasanton turned on their cell phone lights.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Everybody
That's the
had their
thing.
lights
I
on.
want to give co-MVPs out. Obviously, my MVP is going to be number 22, Josh Carizales, because anybody that's ever played a sport knows that it's really, really hard to keep going when you know the outcome's not going to be good. So he never stopped. One good thing was he was not injured that we know of. But I want to give the other MVP to the whole crowd. You know, most of the crowd was into the game. It's really hard for the press box crew to see what's going on other than whenever I ask the crowd to turn the lights on. I didn't take that. That's not my thing. That's a UT thing. If you've ever gone to a college game, and they do that in the fourth quarter, I believe. But it was cool to see. It was a good experience for everybody. So if you are in Frank Carter Stadium, we used to do the jump around going into the fourth quarter. We're going to do that going into the third quarter now. But that's, you know, MVP, Josh Carizales, and both crowds.
You know who had the lights on? They're on their phones? The band.
You know,
I
was
love
good.
the band. The band did real
They're on
good in
their
my
phone,
eyes.
that's why.
Hey,
They're on their
they
phone,
did
not
good.
playing music.
They did
Just
good.
kidding.
On their phone.
All right, guys. With that being said, that's a wrap-up of last week's game between the Pleasanton Eagles and your Fighting Wildcats. We're going to go ahead and kick off other sports with the one, the only, Hero. Bandad. Hey, do you want me to call you Bandad now or Hero still?
Or BD.
I prefer Bandad.
Bandad.
Not BD.
Bandad.
No, I
BD.
no,
Boy.
no, because
Hey,
it's too confusing.
I would tell you.
Confusing.
I will tell you. I heard that you guys sold out of the brisket tacos.
We did, man.
Those
we
are
did.
good Margie bars.
Margie
You outdid
bars.
yourself. But since I'm going to piggyback off the first segment. It was kind of a little darkish. Margie, if I'm eating a taco at home, I don't put one piece of meat in a tortilla.
Oh.
I
Load
put
it
at
up.
least two.
Load it up.
I
Come
put
on.
at least two.
I
It's
go
a
with
bigger the
4.
guy.
But I want to say
Smoking
something.
D's over
you
there.
go.
He does not.
Smoking D's
Smoking
fills them up.
D's.
Smoking D's puts them loaded.
He put about a quarter pound in
There's
that
more.
tortilla.
There's more meat than tortilla. That's for sure.
No, but the other thing is that the prices were much better on the visitor side.
Oh, yeah.
How come the visitors get a discount,
Because
but the home crowd got to pay
You know why?
extra
You
money?
know why? Because they don't want to be left with the items.
No,
Now-
because we keep it real.
You keep.
We keep it
Now
real.
I know. Now we know. Now I will tell you that going into the fourth quarter, they came in and they want to do a big special announcement, and I was all ready for it. They told me, "Get ready. We're going to tell you something nice and good," and they told me that the hot dogs were now $1. The Frito pie was now $1, and
Get down there.
the hot Cheetos and cheese were now $1.
How much was the Wildcat special?
$1.
$10.
The Wildcat Special never is going to go on
Never
sale.
go down.
Never going to go on sale. No, but a big shout out. They're not one of our sponsors, but I would like to point out where credit is due. And being in a small knit community, you want to give credit where credit is due. So Pizza Hut,
Oh,
Pizza
yeah.
Hut does run a Wildcat Special. After the game, go drop your kids off if they're in school at the 5th Court at First Baptist Church. I'm giving you a spot. We're open for sponsorships.
Marina.
Take a
Jacob
little
Moreno.
donation. Take a little donation for us.
Pizza Hut.
But Pizza Hut does give a special. So after the game, if you're in town, don't forget to head on over to Pizza Hut. So now other sports. What do we got?
You know what? The girls volleyball has been doing very, very well this whole season. I think their overall record right now is 9-2. They district play started off last Friday. They did lose against Divine, but yesterday on Tuesday they did play against Pearsall, and they beat them in 3 sets.
Sure.
So district play for the volleyball girls right now is 1-1 district play, 9-2 overall, winning
Shout
record.
out.
Now going on to cross country, because I know I am a band dad, but I'm a cross country dad as well. So
Man, you're a busy
I
dad.
am a busy dad. I am a busy
He's a gay dad.
Yes, I am.
And you're rescuing people from rivers? Dang.
Cross country went to Divine today. It's a district preview.
Today? They went today?
Today is Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Today is Wednesday. So they did go to Divine. They placed second. They did come out second. I don't know who they came out second to, but if I were to make any guess, it would be Lytle. Lytle is pretty dominant in cross country. But the boys cross country throughout the whole season, they've been playing for placing first and second throughout the whole season. So they've been doing very well. District play or the district meet in Divine is a couple of weeks away. The girls as well have been doing very good. So they've been coming out second, third, fourth, so throughout the whole season. So cross country district is October 15th, if I'm not mistaken.
In Divine.
Now, in Divine. It's going to be in Divine. Now, this Saturday, since I am a band dad as well, Brian, we are going to be going to San Antonio to compete in 2 marching events. One at Roosevelt and one at Harlandale.
Back to
So
back.
it's going to be two marching events in one day.
Wow.
So
Primo, I got one question.
talk to me.
One question, and then I'm going to turn it back over. My question is this, and I know everybody out there is asking the same question. As a band dad, right? You're a band dad, and your child's out there on the field in the band. I know I'm just speaking from myself, that when my kids were playing the sport or whatever, I'd get nervous when something was going on. Like, oh.
He's all right.
Is he okay? Is he all right? Is he okay? Now, do you feel the same when the band's going to take the field?
You know what? Yes, I do, because band is perfection. You know what? Steps. You
But
know
do-
when you're
but
singing.
are you
have
anxious?
ever-
Get that emotion.
Have you ever? You know what? Back in the day when we drive around with somebody cruising and somebody is singing to a song and they're like totally off beat.
Yes.
You're like, what
It
the
never
hell?
happened
Are
to
you,
me.
Hey, we were
Like,
doing
never
that
happened to
last
me.
what
night.
the hell are you
man.
singing? Or why are you? Or somebody's
I'm like,
somebody's singing in a like a monotone.
But do you get mad when you hear the trumpets blaring?
No. Well,
Or if
sometimes
somebody-
if
do you
they're
ever
off
watch
key,
it?
if they're off key, or if they hit a wrong note.
Do you ever
something.
watch
Yes,
it?
I do.
You're out of
You can hear
line.
any
I can
one
hear all that.
instrument?
I can hear all
Do you
that.
ever
Do you ever get mad and throw your cap down when they're not marching and stuff?
I'm looking at somebody's off step, and then they
Oh,
correct
God.
themselves, and then they correct
Oh,
themselves
God.
like, perfect, yes.
Hey, you know what I like when somebody falls down?
Whoa.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
Man,
Do you
that-
kick
I
them
don't
out?
like that.
Man.
I don't
Don't
like
jinx
that.
them.
Do you
I don't
kick
like
them
that.
out?
Don't say
Man.
that.
Hey,
No.
but it happened before.
Hey, Sam,
It has
you're,
to happen.
that.
Sam, I'm just going to point it out. You're being really, really dark today.
I know.
Well,
Really dark.
No.
well,
Call-
well,
you're
so
calling
is
you-
Brian.
start
So is
calling you-
Brian.
It's like last week.
Start
we had,
calling
last
you dark side.
Last week we had a whole sunshine in here. It was nice. Sam comes in, it's darkness. A cloud was
Darkness.
over us.
Man, I'm just keeping it real.
You heard Sunshine Sosa speak right now, so
Like they told Ricky Bobby, he's got to
I'm
know.
positive, Sam. I'm a positive
No,
person.
he's gotta know.
There's
He's
enough-
got to know.
There's enough negativity in the world, Sam. It's a long-winded
band
one.
is this weekend, and then marching contest is October 12th, which is next weekend.
Is it state
so
year?
go out and support. It's not a state year, so go out and support the marching, the band, which has been doing very well.
All right. Getting back on track, let's go ahead and take a look back on ex-Wildcat activities. We want to give credit to
Number 51.
I heard some glass break. All right, yeah. Last weekend, as they did that, or 2 weeks ago, when they did the Hall of Fame that we did for, well, not we,
Yeah, here at
that they did for the Wildcat X's there at the football field.
Yes, sir.
At the same time that was going on in Kingsville, Texas A&M University, it was the 47th annual Javelina Hall of Fame champion ceremony. So that being said, an ex-Wildcat was honored with her 2002 Lone Star Conference championship team. That young lady is Leslie Zambrano Salinas now. Congratulations, Leslie. That young lady, she graduated, she's class of 97. I'll give a little background on her. She graduated in May of 97, and by August of 97, she was on track with the Texas A&M Kingsville softball team. She went on to, she played 5 years. She had a 5th year because she got medically redshirted. She blew an ACL out. After that, she came back. She got recruited as a shortstop. Now, that's how college goes. You become a team player. By the time she recovered from that knee, somebody took her spot, so she earned a spot in the outfield. At that 2002 season, they went on with her team that she got inducted to the Hall of Fame. She went on to make the Lone Star Conference. She made the all-conference outfielder.
Wow.
So she is
Coming back from injury and everything.
Yeah, she came back from injury, played 3 straight years to earn that honor. You know, I just want to say something about her that she was the inaugural softball team of the Carrizo Springs Lady Wildcats. Her senior year in '97, under Coach Cruz, they went to the first playoff game as a team, And so something I want to kind of point out about this significance of this Hall of Fame thing is at this era, at this time in 97 down here in Carrizo Springs, it was not known of travel teams. It was not known to go out of town and play. What she went and earned, it was God-given talent. She went in as a walk-on. She went up to Kingsville. They offered her a spot. They offered her a scholarship. She went and proved herself. But like I said, going back to what we do nowadays, I'm a select team parent, Adan.
You're a softball dad.
Softball dad.
Softball dad. I was that for forever also.
So, like I said, back in that era, she was involved in everything. She got her accolades in high school softball from basketball, volleyball, basketball, track. So you didn't have time to go to a pitching instructor, go to a hidden instructor. When you went on to try out, it was all your raw talent. And I just want to point out on that's how she got up there and proved herself, made herself proven to the A&I team. So Leslie, shout out to you and Michael, her husband Michael Salinas. Congratulations on the 2002 team for your induction. So job well done, Leslie.
Once again, on behalf of Purple Rain Sports,
Shout out.
would like to congratulate Leslie Zambrano. Guys, at this time, we will be taking our second commercial break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Purple Rain Sports, Season 4, Episode 6, coming to you live from 5D Steakhouse. What's the motto?
Rarely this well done.
Rarely this well done.
Hey, if you haven't tried the
We forgot to turn on your mic.
Yeah, turn the mic on. That
Turn
helps.
on Ernest's mic. Here.
Hey!
Whoa, sorry.
Whoa, now. Don't ever touch another man's mic.
I wanted to.
Well,
stroking a mic like that, you might
we
as
can
well
form a
be
line.
stroking a
We
man's
can form a
woman.
line right here, but I don't know if my wife's going to appreciate that.
Just don't touch it.
Sorry.
Man,
Sorry about that.
If you haven't had the lemon pepper wings here,
Oh,
You're missing out.
snap.
you're missing out.
Look at the damage. Look at the damage we did right here.
That was given to us right before the end of the segment.
And they flew like
And
nothing.
man, those you know
30
what? I know we
30
talked about it.
wings.
Those wings flew out here so fast. They're like the damn chickens in Uvalde. Those man, I'll see about 97 chickens and roosters by the time I get to my office.
Oh, because of that thing when you go into.
Oh, I don't know. I
that by
just
your
know
grandpa's
Uvalde
neighborhood,
is
Ernest?
the tree capital and the chicken capital of the world.
So before we get started, is there anybody out there in the crowd that has a question about any kind of sports? They want to mention anything about the sports? We got one gentleman out
We
there.
have one gentleman that had a question
what
for
he's
the
wearing, though.
podcast
Yeah.
crew.
So let's get the OU fan, Mr. Bradshaw,
Now-
out here.
now-
say what he's going to say.
If we would have Mr. Bradshaw come up to the mic and bring his question,
I don't-
but we
I
do
don't
want
wanna-
to acknowledge all the crowd that joined us for today.
He said
Bradshaw, and I've seen him. I don't know if y'all have this guy on Snapchat. This guy brought his game day apparel to our podcast.
But every time I see him, he's wearing the same stuff.
Hey, this man travels from Carrizo Springs, Texas, to Norman, Oklahoma, to go watch a football game.
I just threw up in my mouth. I
Is
just threw up in my mouth.
he going
right
to come
there.
over here or isn't he?
I think he's chicken.
He's
I
not
think
going to come
he's-
up here? Are you going to come up here or not?
I think he's sooner chicken to
Okay,
come up here.
because if he
Yeah.
isn't
He ain't gonna
coming
come
over
up here.
here,
Oh, there he
I'm
goes.
gonna.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Zach
Zach
Bradshaw.
If he
Mr.
wasn't
Zach
going to come
Bradshaw.
up here, I was going to say he said Oklahoma sucks.
Okay.
Whoa. I know this episode has been negative.
I just want to say I'm going to protest this
Damn,
segment.
son.
I'm in protest. I just want to say it's 8:54 and Oklahoma still sucks.
All right. All joking aside, hold on. All joking aside, we love the participation with the crowd, and this is actually our first question from the crowd.
There you go, Mr. Zach Bradshaw.
Question. Here you go.
What's y'all's perception on the game in 2 weeks, OU versus UT?
His question was, what is our perception on the game between the Sooners and the Longhorns? So, who wants to start it off?
I'll give it all to
Yeah, I'm
Sosa.
going to tell you something right now.
I'll start it off because all I can say is OU, Jalen Hurts has been playing lights out, but their defense is lacking. The OU defense is slacking like a MF.
And you know what they're like? I mean, their rushing defense is pretty good, but their passing defense, and Ellinger. Well, now you got Ellinger coming, and you're going to be tested, son.
Yeah. So that's my take. I don't know. I'm picking Texas. I think I'm going to pick 35-28 with Texas.
I want to make a bet with Mr. Bradshaw here.
Oh, right here in front of everybody.
I don't like
Guys.
to bet money because, money is money.
Once
No, 'cause
again,
we don't gamble.
I'm broke
you're
like a joke.
missing out if you're not here in the crowd. We invite everybody to come participate with Purple Rain Sports on the live broadcast. The gauntlet has been thrown between Longhorn fans and Mr. OU himself from Dimmitt County. Because I don't think I know of anybody else that's a more loyal fan than, one of our platinum sponsors is saying Longhorn all the way.
There you go. Now,
There you go.
Whoa.
Oh, he's betting you $250.
I would bet you.
He wants to
if
bet you
Longhorns
$250.
win-
Man, he's going
If
up.
Longhorns win, you have to wear a Longhorns cap for a whole shift at work.
What? You said no?
He's backing down.
No, look.
For a whole
No.
shift. Yes.
Hey,
Sponsor, they're challenging you for $250.
but you know
over
what?
there.
You know what? I can admire.
Well, no, you're not working. You need to wear it a whole week.
No, you said a
shift.
shift.
Well, he's not working. He's not working.
He's unemployed.
He's working.
Wherever. Where when you go to HEB, I want to see pictures of you at HEB with the Longhorn cap.
Just a cap. He said just a cap. He said.
I'll let Alonso take the picture.
Oh, Alonso.
Wait. Look at this.
Hey, but vice
Look what I had to do at work.
Well, vice versa.
So of course. If I'll wear it at work.
Vice versa.
All right. Where are you gonna wear it though?
All right, folks.
My shift is 7 days.
Here we go. The bet is
Well,
set.
whatever. Just one day.
Just a picture.
Okay, then I'll just take a picture. All right.
A picture with the opposing team's
Yeah,
cap.
and then we can share it on social media. There you go.
There we go, gentlemen. There we go.
Yeah, we got it.
There we go, folks.
Me and you.
If you weren't here, you missed out on the first bet ever live on
It's gonna be a
Purple
good
Rain
one,
Sports.
Bradshaw. I can't wait to find you. I'm gonna have to get a cap with big old head for you.
Once again, getting back to Bradshaw's question, I think that the OU defense hasn't really been tested, and that's going to be a real big test. Texas played a good game against LSU, nationally ranked team, so Jalen Hurts has been putting up the numbers.
You play.
Well, no, it doesn't matter.
You play the Sisters of the Deaf Lutheran College. What schools are they
Oklahoma and Texas is like
UCLA, ooh.
Oklahoma, Texas is like the other team from over there and the Wildcats. You never know who's going to show up. So, real quick, I know we're going to do our picks, but preliminary, let's go across the board. Hero, who do you think is going to win that game before we even get to that point?
I think UT is gonna sweep Oklahoma this year.
UT.
They've already beat the state, and I think they're gonna beat Oklahoma.
Yeah, you know me,
OU
man.
as well. So,
UT's gonna win that game this year for sure. We're due.
Okay, so we
We're
have
due,
two
baby,
UT.
and we got the team this year.
Number 51 is going UT all the way.
Yeah, UT, baby.
UT.
Yep. The whole panel
Man, it's getting live out there.
against
It's getting live out there.
Shout out,
Just to let
Mr.
y'all know,
Rodney
I
Perez.
edited
Shout
the
out.
podcast, so he's going to be wearing burnt orange.
Burnt green.
Burnt orange.
Hey, hey,
Because
hey.
the orange and the red's going to
We
mix.
don't
so
say
it's
that
gonna
G
turn
word
green.
around here.
Oh, burnt green, though.
We don't say that G word around here.
He's going to be wearing burnt orange when we do the podcast. I'm gonna blur him. I'm gonna blur him.
He said burnt green.
Because it's gonna mix.
Is there
Orange
even
and
a
red
such
is gonna
thing?
make green. I'm telling
Wait,
you.
if we're talking about that other team and it's burnt, isn't that called chicharrones?
Whatever,
There you go.
whatever. Bill Nye, science guy.
Damn.
All right, so it's going to
on,
come down
son.
to me. It's going to be a toss-up. It's the Red River Shootout. It's going to be a good game, but if
be a
I had
great
to,
game.
if I had to pick, I would say it's going to be less than a touchdown, and that I'm not going to lie, man. Jalen Hurts, I'm going to go OU.
He's going OU.
I'm going OU.
What
Turn off your mic for sure.
the heck?
I'm telling you.
Now, I got a question for Mr. Zach here. Texas is playing West Virginia this week. Who do you think is going to win? Would you even ever pick Texas to win a game?
So he's saying Texas is going to be over West
He just said
Virginia.
that Texas will beat West Virginia.
So who's
Texas gonna beat West Virginia. It's not a challenge.
Sir, thank you. See, that's a good
who
man
is
right there.
who's OU facing this week? Who's OU facing
What
this week?
what girls' college is OU playing?
Oh, they're playing Kansas.
No. Hey, Kansas is doing actually not too bad, man. New coach. I would have bet.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Spank them.
Oh, there you go.
I mean,
You jinxed it. You just jinxed it. It's upset alert right there. Now I'll pick Oklahoma against Kansas. Yeah, come on. Stevie
Once
Wonder
again,
can see that
big
kid.
shout out to if you were at the football game, Friday between the Eagles and the Wildcats, you saw a special guy walking around the crowd. A special guy walking around the crowd, making sure that there was nothing going on. School security, Mr. Danny Villarreal.
Go, Danny.
Danny,
Officer Dan.
Officer Dan.
Officer Dan.
So he's going to be the MVP
He
for
did
the
it. You know what? You know what?
Come say
Hey,
a few
can
words,
I- can
Danny.
I go
Come say a
back?
few words.
I want to go back, and I'm going to add a co-MVP. And that's going to go out to
Co-co
Mr.
MVP?
Dan, Officer Dan.
But I want to add a co-donkey of the game because there was some fools at the football game starting a fight. Some chick and some vato were starting a fight at the football game.
Wow.
Where was
A
the
girl
police?
and a
Where
guy.
was the police
That's
at?
why they had to call Officer Dan. He took care of
But you know
that.
what? I think they knew that Officer Dan was coming, so they left.
Man, but I want to see him shoot somebody over there at the game.
Hey, I would hate to let the cat out of the bag or the monkey out of the bottle, but Officer Dan might shoot blanks.
All right.
Just kidding, Danny.
So let's go.
We
to
know
the,
you're a bullseye.
Let's go to the picks. Let's go to the picks from last week. First place for the fans, you had Tony Garza. He had 9 out of 11. He only got 2 wrong,
Wow.
so he did pretty good. And then you had, I think Hector Navarro again. In the top,
Again.
again, man, he got 3 wrong. So
You need to go to casino.
He's up there all the time, man. Where's he getting his information from, man?
And Sonia probably did those picks for Hector. He don't even cut grass.
So he did a good job. So Tony Garza number 1 by himself at the top. So we congratulate Tony. And amongst the crew here, I wonder who got first place.
Yo,
I
we've
did.
already
I think
discussed that.
I think I got first place.
We've already talked about
And
that.
who
You
was
see
the
everybody's
stinky
picks.
pick? Who was the stinky pick?
It wasn't me. It wasn't.
It wasn't me.
And
And it was not
Whoa.
me.
Guys,
What?
yeah.
Hey, Brian got second. Brian was second.
I got second to
He got
Sosa.
second place.
Real quick, if you're a loyal listener to Purple Rain Sports and you're a loyal watcher of the podcast,
You're seeing history.
you're seeing history tonight because Brian set the record with 4 straight ties to the
Yeah,
face.
4, I'm sorry, yeah.
I felt like Memorial High School.
So
No,
we
he
did.
the 5th. No, he did the 5th last week. You tied with Sam last week, remember?
Oh,
Yeah,
so
'cause
that's 5.
Sam
yeah,
wasn't
that's
here.
5. So he did 5.
So
All good
Why
things
y'all
come
gotta
to
bring
an
up
end.
old?
last week's stinky pick of the week would be our one and only soft hands. Now going to be soft pie hands gospel.
Well, you know,
right.
in my own defense, I had no idea what I was doing.
Well,
Were you driving
that's like
again?
50% of
Were you
pretty
driving?
obvious.
Were you driving whenever you sent the picks in like you do
I
with
was
Ernest?
working.
Did you
When
pick
the
the Steelers?
Steelers are
Did you
playing?
pick the Steelers? Hey,
I picked the
Steelers,
Steelers.
man. Now I want to change my pick.
Hey.
We all picked the Ravens.
I will tell you that the Steelers defense showed up. Now it was against Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket or whatever the heck his name is, the Red Flamethrower or whatever the hell.
It's the red. That's what they call them.
Whoa. Well, I knew it was something like that.
Not
Red
that.
something.
What's Johnny doing? He's saying hello.
He's giving us signals, like always. Signals
Once
that
again, we'd like to
it's
thank
time.
Mr. Double J. We missed him the last couple of weeks. Double J that was feeling under the weather.
Man, I seen cancer patients come back quicker than Johnny Joe does.
God dang.
You guys are killing
Wow.
me, man. You guys are killing me.
Whoa.
Look at that. Oh,
Whoa. What's this all about? Who's
nachos. You got some nachos
Whoa.
here. Look at nachos
Whoa.
here at 5Ds.
Is this keto friendly? 'Cause I'm on a keto diet.
guys, once again, I don't know if you watch the podcast, we always get treated as if we are kings since we are kings of the sports world.
From 5D, Smoking D's.
Smoking D, once again, a big shout out to Smoking D, Competition Barbecue. I don't know if y'all can see on camera, I'm the only one talking, and these are the only guys eating. So make your way on down to 5D for the next podcast. Look for us on social media, Purple Rain Sports. We are getting a lot of positive feedback. Please keep it positive. All right, at this time, we will be going over this week's picks, which you can find if you're not participating. Please look for it in the Javelin. Once again, a big special thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Howard McDaniel for posting that. We're going to start things off. This week's pick. Wildcats are on a bye week, which is always good, especially after last week's outcome. You want to go into your first district game in a bye week. So this week's first pick is Lavernia at Pearsall.
No, come on.
Across the board, Lavernia was chosen.
Easy.
The next game is Poteet and Poth. Now, I'm not going to lie, this one was a hard one for me to pick because I've been seeing all the stuff regarding Poteet. Poteet is a good team.
Yeah, they've been putting up a lot of points.
Poteet's a good team, so I'm kind of worried about that going into district. But they're playing Poth, and the only thing I know about Poth is one time I stopped there to eat some barbecue, and it was really good.
But,
So-
pick both.
Those people that pick Poth,
Hey,
I'm
both-
with you.
Both beat Fall City. Fall City is really good. So Fall City's ranked top 5.
That's why I picked them.
Yeah, so both is pretty strong.
Catula.
Uh-oh. Boo.
We'll edit that part out.
We'll cut it.
Hey, now we will give credit where credit is due. Catula did come in to Frank Carter Stadium and take care of business. Now, it was a couple of IFC calls on that one, but yes,
You
Catula
can't
did
blame the
win.
loss
We'll let
on
it
the
go.
refs.
Next game, the other guys, the other ones at Dilly.
The former.
Three of us picked Dilly, and those of y'all who are loyal listeners know that I will never, ever, in a million years, pick the other guys.
Yeah, I made it a point even this week. I ain't gonna pick them guys. Who did I pick?
Oh, we got some bad information on that game.
No. Who'd y'all guys pick over here?
We picked the team from the north.
Okay.
But
They're the better team. I will admit it. I'm honest. But we just heard that the quarterback is down.
Yeah, he's out
Yeah.
for the season. He already had surgery
yeah,
this week.
we heard about the quarterback being down for Crystal City.
PRS
we do
would
want to
like to wish
wish.
him a-
We want to wish that young man, hopefully a speedy recovery. It's we don't want to see anybody going down with that type of injury.
Yeah, all joking aside, we're always joking around. Y'all know my feelings on our neighbor. We all have neighbors.
You don't like
We may not talk to
love
them.
hate restriction.
Agree to disagree.
Some of us may poison the pets of the neighbors.
You know, but for
But
me,
it is what it is.
for me, that might be a lesson to some of the coaches to know that even your best players can go down sometimes. So no matter what
That's
you do,
always a risk that you
there's
run.
always a risk
Take
that you
that risk.
take. So why take the unnecessary risk? So anyway, best of luck to that young man that went down. Hopefully you get a better recovery. And I'd like to say good luck to the Javelinas, but never mind about that. Anyway,
Moving
good
on.
luck to
You're,
that kid.
you're a member of our crew, and we know that we never say a couple of key words, and you said one of them. It's only suitable if you're talking about Kingsville.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. I'm going to Kingsville this
Okay,
weekend.
yeah.
Okay, all
all
right.
right. Okay. Next game, we're going to be exiting the high school games, and we're going to be going into the college level. Our first game is Auburn at Florida. Now,
Auburn.
I chose Auburn.
I chose
saw them
Auburn.
play A&M. That was a good game. They went into Kyle Field and took care of business. So I chose Auburn. Auburn.
I pick Florida. I'm sorry. I think Florida's offense is going to step up, and I think they're going to play
They're,
pretty good.
they're
next
playing good. They're playing
year.
good ball.
It's in Florida. It's in Gainesville.
In the
I always
swamp.
take that into account. Home team.
In the swamp.
So. The
Next
Sooners
game, I
still
don't-
talking off screen.
I
Why is
picked
the Sooner
Florida.
talking off
What
screen
about
over
me? I
there?
picked Florida too.
You picked Florida?
I picked Florida because
That's why I ignored you.
it's Florida and Denver. It's a Sunshine State, so I picked Florida.
Florida and Denver, the Sunshine State.
There's not two states that have the same name.
But
Yo,
hey, hold on.
hold up,
In the
real
movie
quick.
Old School, he
Hold up.
said, Denver, that's the Sunshine State.
I would like to point something out to our viewers and our
Denver's a
listeners.
city, burro.
I want to point something out. If you've been watching the podcast, this episode, you're going to realize that I've been into this show. I've been talking about this. I've been talking about that. Look, it's almost gone. These guys are taking care of business. It just shows that it's that good. It just shows that it's that good. Make your way on down to 5D Steakhouse and try some of these nachos, these fries here.
Hey, who's paying for all this? This food.
I'm not paying because I didn't eat none
I
of
was
it.
smoking these right there.
These kind of traded us for that one.
Next game, Texas at West Virginia. Across the board, we all chose the Longhorns. It's going to be a good game, but Texas should prevail on that one. Next game, I don't even know why in the world I tried to research it, and all that came up was a toilet.
Hey, UTEP's not that
It
bad.
was UTSA and UTEP. The
Who
Miners.
would you pick, Zach? UTSA,
Miners
UTEP.
and Roadrunners.
UTEP. Thank you, sir.
But
UTSA's having a down year.
The quarterback just got
they
hurt.
They lost a lot of talent. And some went to the NFL. Davenport.
Hey, that guy played good, though, the other day, Davenport, man.
Yes, sir. So, they don't have the talent they used to have. I mean, they've been recruiting from Texas, San Antonio area, really good talent. But those guys are going to other schools, and San Antonio's just not getting. UTSA's just not getting them anymore. So this is a down year for UTSA. So I
so
went
is it
UTEP.
But UTSA is favored though.
I chose UTEP.
I chose UTEP.
UTEP.
I picked UTSA.
I got UTSA.
You're favored by 2.
UTSA.
UTSA.
All right, who's
Oh,
next?
yeah, we were the only ones that chose.
Yeah.
But
All right.
is there really mines? Do they have mines?
No, they don't mind nothing over there. They mine tunnels. They mine tunnels. They mine tunnels.
The Chapo's pretty busy. Juarez to El Paso.
Next game goes out is one of these games that we added for one of our platinum sponsors,
Da Bears.
Smoking D Competition Barbecue. We added this, the Chicago Bears versus the Oakland Raiders.
The Raiders.
And I don't care what anybody says,
That
that defense
man.
is tough, man.
Khalil Mack.
That defense reminds me of how these guys are attacking this plate right here.
That's true. Khalil Mack is a monster, man. He's
They
going
ate all
out
the
this year.
cheese and
He's healthy
jalapenos and
again.
left chips.
Last year he got hurt and he was still playing, but he wasn't playing at his best.
100%.
He's healthy now, and he takes on 2-3 guys.
He's a wild man.
Dude, he's crazy. So Bears are gonna win that one.
Next game, the Baltimore Ravens at my Pittsburgh Steelers. And the only one that chose the Steelers was this guy. right? Everybody else chose the Ravens, but
Before
Monday Night Football
Yeah.
just showed what we can do, even though it was against the Rod Rockets.
You can't play
But
the Bengals every week. Who do you pick? Ravens and Steelers. Who do you pick, Zach?
I'm going to change my pick from the OU game. Once again, we'd like to thank Zach for his first and last podcast appearance. Steelers, Ravens, everybody else. Next pick, Falcons and the Texans.
Sure. One hater.
You know what? Based on last week's game, I would have gone with the Falcons.
Yeah. No,
But
not even. The Falcons are really bad.
But they're bad, though.
Yeah.
So I picked Texans, and Mr. Sam Castro is the only one that picked the Falcons.
No, it was Brian. Brian picked the Falcons. Oh, well,
They both did.
You picked the Falcons?
Based on how they played the week before, where they barely won.
All right.
Sorry.
I'm going to look for you first.
All right, next game, the Green Bay Packers at Dallas Cowboys. And I know we talk about this every time, every year. But Dallas is the only team that I know that has like 14 home games.
That's true.
They
Yeah,
have
he's right.
14 home games.
Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones owns the NFL.
I think, you know what, Sosa, if you would do me a favor and put a poll up on our social media.
How many-
And don't forget to follow us on social media. But who gets the most calls or non-calls, Patriots or Cowboys?
Oh.
Because,
Patriots.
see, that's
And
what I'm
Green
talking
Bay.
about.
don't know.
We have
Green
to
Bay.
put that up for discussion
I
because,
think it's going to be 50-50. I think they both get it.
man, I don't know.
There you go. He's a cowboy killer.
You know
cowboy
what?
Killer right there.
I think I chose the Cowboys, but based on last week's game, Teddy Bridgewater taking the Cowboys out, I would have to say that Aaron Rodgers
on
is
one
going to do more
leg.
damage.
On one good leg.
No, that was not one
So-
leg. What happened to the Texans?
I picked the Packers because Aaron Rodgers is going to put an ass whipping on the Cowboys. Because the Cowboys last
Yeah.
week, man,
That's another
they
game.
just sucked a big one.
That's another game that I was on the fence, and I took into account that it was going to be Cowboys at home like always, and then also, you know, Rodgers is just a cowboy killer. He just looks for what to do against the Cowboys, so I went with Packers.
It's going to be a tough game.
Dude, it would be a really, really different game if that game wasn't being held in
Not to
Texas
say
Stadium.
that the Cowboys defense is, I mean, top two, maybe, you know, they're up there. They're pretty good. They're damn good. But Rodgers, he does it. I don't know what he does against the
Rodgers
Cowboys,
still
what he
cuts- yeah.
knows or what.
The-
He's a cowboy killer.
Rodgers.
All right, guys. We went through our You Pick 'em challenge. We invite everybody to participate also in the weekly You Pick 'em challenge. Put it on social media, Facebook, Twitter. Look for us, find us, participate. Be recognized if you do well. Be recognized if you don't do well. Stay with us, guys. Stinky Pick of the Week, Pie in the Face ×2 coming right up. We'll be right back. Once again, we'd like to welcome everybody back to 5D Steakhouse, Season 4, Episode 6. All right, everybody, we've reached that time. Stinky Pick of the Week goes to the one and only Sam Castro, who will be getting not one, but 2 pies to the face. He tried to miss last time's pie, so here we go. Sam, here we go. Pie number 1. Here we go. Everybody, let's give a big round of applause. Let's go. At this time, we would like to ask our number 1. Okay, our gracious sponsor who was going to do the pie, Mr. Rick De La Fuente, graciously turned over the honors to the one and only Officer Dan. Y'all may not recognize him without the uniform. So if you're illegally parked at the school or you cut in line at the school, he follows you home, folks. He follows you home. Well, that's what happens when you lose. That's what happens when you lose. Sam, This is why you can't have nice things. You can't have nice things. All right, ready? Everybody that's joining us tonight, at the count of 3, we're going to do the first pie. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Wow. We're going to go ahead and say, okay. We were going to have the one and the only Jamming Johnny, but birthday boy, who's joining us tonight, he took off. So at this time, we're going to ask in his space, the one, the only school board member, Mr. Rodney Pettis, that was asked to do this pie. Here we go. Here we go. Let's do it again. Ready? At the count of 3. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2. And this, folks, is what happens when you lose 2 times in a row. At this time, we would like to thank everybody joining us for Season 4, Episode 6. Look for us on social media. We'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Good podcast. Good night.